Jason, Paul Davis Restoration of Morris and Passaic Counties. We're on the job today, live on location, and with me is Keith Gangitano from ZeppelinGuys.com.
Yep.
The manufacturer and inventor of the AIRWALL containment system.
It's time for the sit down.
Keith, give me a little background about Zeppelin Guys.
It's a family business. The genesis came back in 2017. We built our first prototypes then. We launched to the industry in the fall of 2019, and it's now 2025 here, and we have 12 distinct products. All of them, some version of patent pending, so they're the first of their kind in the world. Some of them already patented, and we're having a good time introducing it to not only the restoration industry, but also just the construction industry writ large, because everybody's dealing with dust and sound and just the general discomfort of having an open construction site.
Let's take a deeper dive into the AIRWALL system.
Let's do it.
Keith, regarding these innovative new products that you have, I want to start off talking about first the product that I have the most experience with, and that's your exhaust system.
For windows.
Yep. And I saw this thing online, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it piqued my interest. I think that the innovation behind taking a piece of vinyl and running negative air through it that auto-inflates it and seals up a window unit to give you negative air capability is invaluable. And the reason I say that, coming from my background and where I'm standing, is traditional ways we did this was we would outline the window with painter's tape on the framing. Then we would take double-sided tape over the painter's tape. We'd attach 6mm poly. We would take more double-sided tape and we would box out a square in the center, cut an X in it, duct our lay flat through the window, and then we would tie a knot in it and cut slots in it because it prevented that
The whipping sound.
whipping noise.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't want the gas station thing going.
the wavy two-bar man advertising thing.
Yeah.
And that's how we would do it. The problem with that is oil-based paints, tape doesn't stick too well.
Yep.
High humidity, high heat environments, even though we're using painter's tape, we were pulling the finish off. I'm very meticulous. You know, when I set up my containment, if I'm using double-sided tape and my 6mm goes up and there's a crease in it, I don't like the way it looks. I make my guys pull it down and redo it. I make sure that the edges are trimmed to the exact width of the framing, because I think it should look like it belongs in the house. I don't like to leave.
So it needs to be
sloppy
effective
mess.
and aesthetic.
It
I
needs
like
to,
that.
because you're only as good as you look.
That's true.
Your system has a number of benefits to it, regarding the fact that intake is at one level, outtake is at another level. There's a net screen inside. Tell me about what's the innovation. What's the thinking process behind this unit?
So what you're actually using is version 2 of the exhaust. Version 1 was our first attempt, and we tweaked it because we wanted to be able to run more CFM. So we went from maxing out around 500 up to 2,000 now. And it also means that we can interface with basically whatever ducting you've got. So if you've got PVC coiled, if you've got Mylar with the wire going through it, if you've got different types of lay flat, 10-inch, 12-inch, it'll work with all of it. So it really just became a much more versatile tool, and it opened itself up to a lot of the equipment that you have, and it didn't restrict it to so many different kinds of uses. And then like the features, we call it the critter guard, that screen mesh on the one side. Because they're drawstring, you can tune it to balance your negative pressure and balance the back pressure to keep the seal. And then you can buy it in kits, or you can buy individual pieces depending on what you want to do. I think you have a kit right now, and that gives you ultimate versatility. You can get into any window in any setting.
Yep, because that's a good thing you mentioned that. One of the first things we did was a casement window in a basement.
Yeah.
It was a little hopper window, and it's a cinder block frame. you can't tape cinder block.
Tape doesn't stick to that.
Well,
Staples don't go in.
Yep. We simply took the window right out and used the small attachment,
Right.
and that thing was air and watertight.
Yeah.
And I was amazed that just the airflow from an air scrubber gave it constant negative pressure.
A nice good
Nice,
seal.
tight seal.
And you made the point about the material. It's UV resistant, so you're gonna, because especially in the window units, you are gonna have UV exposure.
Yep.
They're also nearly hydrophobic, so if there's rain or anything like that, it's gonna just roll right off. So.
I think one of the other things that a lot of companies don't think about is the breakdown. You're doing negative air because there's pollutants or contaminants in the air. You're alleviating dust. That's the whole reason behind negative air, is to prevent cross-contamination. If a traditional method is you're having a tech just rip that plastic out of the window, what are they doing with it? Because I've seen these guys not bag it. I've seen them just roll it into a ball, carry it through a house. You're cross-contaminating whatever you're walking through.
Mm-hmm.
This system breaks down, collapses on itself, and goes into a zippered bag that you leave with. It's a matter of...
And they're all machine washable, so if you really want to decontaminate when you get back to the shop and you really want to be thorough about it, or you take it out and hose it off, either one.
Yep. We run a HEPA vac across it.
There you go.
We have it on the job.
Absolutely.
When we install it, we spray it with antimicrobial when it goes in the window, because we're already cleaning the surface. We go right over it.
Sure.
So it's pretty simple.
Nice.
The next thing I want to go into is the Nexus system, because that is, dude, it's like a raft. That you take a blow up raft from a pool, stick it in a doorway, or attach it to a wall, and all of a sudden you've got an instant barrier.
Yeah.
And when that thing's inflated, it doesn't come down.
No.
I mean, it's, listen, boys will be boys. My guys push each other when they're goofing around. They get pushed into it. They don't fall through it.
Yeah.
They bounce off of it.
Yeah.
It's a clean, neat system.
Yeah.
And again, no damage to surfaces, no damage to paint or trim. It was 5 chambers.
Yeah, 5 individual chambers to make sure that it's redundant. If one of your guys does get too rough, or he has a utility knife in his back pocket or something like that, you could actually replace a bladder in situ without having to break containment.
We set it up, and I believe, don't quote me, but I'm thinking it was 1 minute and 30 seconds, 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Yeah, not much more.
And that was start to finish. That was unrolling it, flattening it out, blowing it up, and sticking it in place.
Yep.
All right? I'm pretty quick at containment. I can't put up containment on a...
You can't get your first round of tape in that fast.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
If time is money, this is saving time, which is saving money.
That's right. And so money saved is money earned.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So give me some...
Well, you hit on a lot of things. So not damaging the surfaces, right? So wherever we touch surfaces that are delicate, which would be the walls and the ceiling, if you have a level 5 drywall finish, the last thing you want to do is peel paint, because repainting isn't going to be enough for that one area. They're not going to let you touch it up. They're going to paint the whole room.
Right.
You're going to paint the whole room. So having that protection when you touch the building means that we put pillows basically at all the edges. It protects the surface of the building, but it also means that if you have irregular surfaces like even brick, that it would actually fill in the gaps and really make sure that you have a seal. Again, back to the brick thing, because tape doesn't stick to brick.
Right.
And then wherever the building could damage us, right, our product, which let's just talk about the most obvious things like drywall screws and tack strips and things like that. The bottom of these things is a super heavy vinyl, so that if they do encounter those hazards, you shouldn't have a bunch of that stuff on the floor anyway, but let's be real, things happen, right? That you're going to be protected in that scenario as well. So the product's protected when it needs to be, and we definitely went out of our way to protect the building.
So now, here's another thing. We're sitting in a study.
Yep.
in someone's house. 12 feet away from me, I have a Nexus up.
Yep.
Right behind that Nexus, I have a Air Defender 400 that's actively running. 10 feet this way, I have a Nexus up. And right behind that Nexus, I have 2 HEPA 500s running. I don't hear anything.
No, and we're able to talk in a normal voice. Yeah. And if that means if someone was living in this house and their TV was over here or their family members, they could let this project happen and they wouldn't be endlessly irritable during the process. And they also aren't going to shut the machines off at night when they're trying to sleep.
Well, not only that, a lot of things we run into is after hours work. All right? Because restoration sometimes involves demo. Demo makes noise. You know, people with young children, people who work don't
from
want to
home.
hear us there 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. You know, putting these barriers up not only gives you dust protection,
Yep.
but it enables you to work after hours
Yeah.
and not interfere with the
And I'll take that
homeowner's lifestyle.
I'll take that a step further. Even if you weren't going to leave them in the building throughout the process, you may just grab a couple off your truck for the demo work.
Yes.
Put it up. When you're done demoing, take them back down with you. But in the meantime, a couple of barriers. We've got tests that show that can block 25 decibels. That's a big drop.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so many times, you know, we hear people, you have to be so loud, you know. Dude, a hammer's a hammer.
Hammer's a hammer.
You know, a drill's
Saw's a saw, drill's a drill, yeah.
Until they make a quieter one. I guess we'll wait for Tesla to make.
There you go.
I don't think it's on Elon's.
Not his hit list.
Not on his hit list
No.
right now. You know, another thing I want to talk about is the air curtain.
The dust curtain, the
dust
UVC.
curtain. All right. So again, I'm a stickler for the way things look. Okay. When that dust curtain went up, I was skeptical. All right. There's a lot of moving parts.
There are.
There's a lot of finagling around and Jimmy and stuff, and I'm thinking maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
All right. And then it went up,
Yeah.
and then we took it down,
Yep.
and then we put it up again,
Yep.
and then we moved it,
Yep.
and then we put it up again. All right.
Yep.
And then me and my son put it up.
Yep.
All right. And I realized that, you know, experience helps,
Sure.
and going in blind is never the best.
No.
But, you know, literally, we watched you do this thing twice, and pretty much picked it right up.
Yep.
And I gotta say that I love this thing. And there's something about it, and at the risk of sounding, you know, a little odd, it's got this sexy curve. All right?
Right.
And when I look up at that header and how it sits flush to a ceiling,
Yeah.
and it molds around, it was built to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that, like, if this was my home and I walked in my front door and saw it, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, what's going on in my house? I would walk in and I'd be like, all right, if it wasn't yellow, maybe I'd keep it there.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
there's a door, there's a window, there's a mailbox.
Right. Hey, the window too, right? That allows them to see your job site without walking through it.
Yeah.
You know.
So you know what?
Right?
There's attention to detail, you know, is a big thing. And being in this industry, we're always ones to point fingers at what somebody missed. All right? And we do it on everything. All right?
Yep.
On double-sided tape, we're always saying, you know, oh, how hard is it at the factory to dovetail it so we can get the peeling off easier?
Oh, yeah.
All right? Why do we got to sit there and screw with this
Get your
thing
knife out to try to get the edge.
for
Yeah.
20 minutes? Or, you know, whatever it is, there's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
You know, dehues, we don't like the connections on the hoses. We don't like the wheels. Whatever it is, there's something that we don't like.
Yeah.
And the attention to detail that you put in this header system that's pliable and maneuverable and good, looks like a shower curtain. And then when you tighten it up, it's like a load-bearing wall almost.
Yeah, all right.
Was
And then it fits into a duffel bag. Figure that one out,
yeah,
right?
well, that's the other thing. You know, when you're done, you just roll this thing up, and I'm looking at you, and dude, you rolled this thing up like a little burrito.
Right.
Put a belt on it, and it went right into a bag.
Yeah.
And you're out the door.
Right.
You know, so talk to me about some of the innovations that went into that dust curtain.
Yeah, the dust curtain. The dust curtain, we call that 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag because that thing is the hardest working tool in our whole setup. And there's more to it because of that, right? There's a little more setup involved.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as just airing up a Nexus, right? There's a little more to it.
But it's easier than coming in there with PVC and
100%.
building out or framing out a wall.
Absolutely, no question. The considerations were this. We needed to be able to interface with a decon chamber. Now, in this particular job, we didn't do that, but we definitely have that possibility. The wall also need to allow air movement. Had to be able to allow air pass through that barrier, and it happens 3 different ways. Number 1, it's got built-in makeup air filtration through what we call the ACV. It's the atmospheric check valve. And in later videos, we'll probably show you why we call it that. But it does have a flap that automatically closes and has a magnetic closure in case there's a loss of power and that system shuts down. You don't want to have an open pathway for cross-contamination. So that's one thing. And then the air movement above and below. You can do all kinds of things. Right now, as it's set up, I think you're pumping the air out through there and then out a window.
Right.
So we're starting with a machine inside the dirty space and pumping it through onto the outside. So that is a great use of it. But you can also set up a scrub cycle. You know, at the end, you're waiting for your PRV. You want to run, a 36-hour, 72-hour scrub cycle. You can have it pumping in and pumping out through up and down below and up above.
Right, because of both chambers.
For both chambers. It also had to be able to accommodate the range of sizes that the system is built for, which is a lot of homes are 8 feet, but there's in the last 25 years, there's some 9-foot ceilings coming in, and there's even some 10 foots. And so we feel like if we don't accommodate the 8, 9, and 10-foot applications, then we're missing something.
Right.
So the dust curtain is compatible in those environments. You just simply shorten it or extend it based on your needs. So we really had a lot of things it had to do. And hearing it from you, it sounds like we might have done it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've never been a fan of zip poles.
No offense, zip pole.
Yeah, it's my thing.
Yeah.
I've used the clips that go on suspended ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
We've built containment out of them. Do they work? Yeah, they work. Are they my cup of tea? No.
Yeah.
Never have been. I've used the ratcheting zip ones that you step on and they get higher and higher. And, my mentality is tighter, better. I put them through drywall. I over tighten things. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's no zip holes involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's a compression fitting without compression.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you don't have to hammer 2x4s into a space and then wedge everything in because you're looking for damage.
Oh yeah, well, I've done that myself, and and I like tighter, better too. And you'll knock that final 2x4, and then you'll lift that drywall just enough that all the nails pop. Yep. And now you haven't cracked or put a hole, but you got nail pops everywhere, right? Yep. And so those are things that happen on the job site.
This and I know there's stuff you carry that we didn't use.
Yeah, there's a few things. Yeah, we're getting a good cross section today.
I've looked through your website. I've looked at a lot of the products, and listen. Is this system for everybody? No, it's not for everybody. But not everybody wants to be set apart. Right. Not everybody wants to be top tier.
Right.
So, if you're looking to get in, get out, and get paid, and that's it, those are your goals, it's not for you.
Yep.
If you're looking to make a name for yourself and have pride in what you do and have a clean workspace and pass your inspections and have a homeowner or a client talk about how neat and how put together your job site was.
Right.
Yes.
And while we're talking about that, the get out, get in, get out, get paid, and then versus what you just presented as your option, there's going to be a bunch of people that are on the middle, right? That they want to be able to stand out, but they look at that cost and they go, well, that's a big initial investment. And they're not wrong, but we've done the math, and since we've been here talking, we've done it even more. We've really gotten granular on it, and it really is the kind of thing that after several deployments, as many as 7 at the most, and oftentimes faster, you're at that tipping point, and now it becomes a profit line, right? Wow. So even if you're a little reticent, but you do want to stand out, you can take that jump and still do it.
Yeah, well, insurance companies notoriously do not pay for consumables.
Yes.
They're going to, unless you're billing time and materials, there are no line items for a consumable. They'll consider that a cost of doing business.
Yep.
So whether you're a painter, a flooring contractor, a drywaller, whatever, you're going to protect the floors, you're going to lay down poly or erect dust containment, you're not getting paid for it.
Right.
And if you are, you're not getting market value.
No.
All right.
You might get reimbursed. It's certainly not going to be a profit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times, we're on a job and we show up with 6 mil, that's 10 by 100, and I need 20 by 100. So now we're taping stuff together, and you know what? It looks shady.
It does.
It just...
And it's cumbersome. Like you're dealing with sheet material that's getting blown in the wind, and there's nowhere to spread it out, and then you got to tape it.
And it's garbage.
And it's garbage. It's garbage.
Right.
You're throwing it away.
Yeah. I've seen guys cut poly on a floor.
Oh.
And now they got to refinish
Now the
a floor.
Uh-huh.
All right? I've seen them cut it on carpet.
Right.
Now you're seaming carpet.
Yeah.
So, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in this industry.
That's right.
If you can take the risk out,
Yep.
you're a fool not to.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming all the way to New Jersey from California.
It was a haul, but it's good.
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
We are definite supporters of the AIRWALL system.
I love it.
Given we spoke about the expense, what's the ROI? What's the return on investment in something like this?
Yeah. So we've crunched the numbers, and we've determined that based on the current compensation, just on an Xactimate quote, right? Because they pay you a certain amount per square foot, and that incorporates the plastic, the tape, and the labor to put it up. Okay. You get extra for poles, you get extra for zippers, things like that. So we factored all that stuff in. And so if all you're doing is doing a straight across bill and say, okay, if I had built a wall with 6 mil, a couple of heavy duty zippers, 4 or 5 poles, tape, whatever else, this is what I would have charged. If you use that calculation and you translate that into the square footage that we can provide you with an AIRWALL, it's a 5 to 7 deployment break even, right?
Okay.
So once you hit your break even point, all the consumables disappear, right?
It becomes pure profit.
Well, then your labor drops by 80% or more, depending on how proficient your guys are, using it, how many times they've done it.
Right.
But that amount of time invested goes way, way, way down. So it's not pure profit, but once you pay your labor for, let's say, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of setup for, say, 8 by 15 containment with decon, with makeup air and all the rest, it doesn't take long for it to become a profitable thing, because you'll still get paid as though you put up all those consumables and invested all the man hours when most of it has just gone away.
All right, so I'm going to take some of my jobs. All right, so a typical mold job for me, let's say we're doing a basement. We're going to set up containment. We're probably going to run 15, 20 feet of lay flat. We're going to go through a roll of tape easily. a roll of double-sided tape. I'm going to go through the time it takes to set it all up, the time it takes to break it down. If I'm really being careful, and what I really should do, and you should also do it, is when I'm done with my demo, you should replace your containment. So we're going to rip our containment down, and we're going to put up new containment because we're now in a clean environment. And we're going to start all over again. So I'm going to say, you know, I'm probably looking in the area of what I'm billing or what I'm getting paid for. I'm going to get paid for all of that probably around $75. It's going to cost me probably around $135 because they're not paying me for labor. It's included. They're not paying me to replace ducting. It's a one-time shot. Containment is a one-time shot. They don't care. So I'm losing out on the extra. The time it's taking me to do this is probably going to take me an hour and a half to 2 hours by the time it's all said and done.
Sure.
Okay?
Does that include the shopping at the Home Depot or your choice big box store?
Nope. That includes none of that.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
So by the time I'm done, and by the time I've billed and paid my guys, I've probably made on this job $10 an hour. All right?
Yep.
Which is not sending me to Maui for a week.
You're not going backwards, but it's not. Yeah.
But I'm not
nothing to write home about.
Right. And insurance companies, line items are line items. That's what they are. And if you look at the line items, you know, it'll give you 14 cents a square foot for 6 mil poly, including labor.
And tape.
So, yep, and
Yeah,
tape.
And tape.
So they're not covering everything.
No.
Now, if I have to build this system, even though there's not a line item, I'm still going to bill it at 6 mil.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm going to bill it at 6 mil fire rated because it is fire rated.
Absolutely.
But there's no tape. There's no double-sided tape. I don't have to replace it because as this stuff's up, it's rigid. I'm going to HEPA vac it and I'm going to clean it.
Well, that's the other thing, right? When you put a vacuum cleaner on 6 mil, it wants to suck in.
Yep.
Right? This thing, nope, not a problem.
Yep.
You're like, it's like vacuuming drywall.
So, you know, this containment, you're going to set it and forget it.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and that's going to be it. It's a one-time shot. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out what would it cost me on that job to set this system up. And I'm thinking that it's probably going to cost me somewhere around $50. You know, time in, time out. So for me, labor is a given.
Yep.
Everything else is going to be profit from
That's
there
right.
on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look good doing it.
That's for sure.
So, you know, I think that the return on investment here is a little deeper than dollars and cents.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's longevity.
Yep.
Because for me to go out and buy a roll of 20 by 100 poly, it's like $80.
Yep.
Tape is $18 a roll. And that's just ridiculous.
And you have to keep doing it.
Yep.
We designed product that's supposed to last 5 to 10 years. We've been out for 6. I've not had anybody come back to me and say, your product has now failed. So, and it's because we chose the best products. The materials, the raw materials that make up our product. I mean, just for one example is the zippers we use. We don't want zippers to be hard to use, and we also don't want them to break or get old and tired. So we used zippers that were literally designed for freeway speeds. They were the type that you use on convertible Jeep tops and bimini tops for boats.
Right.
Both of which are supposed to take, you know, a lot of force. And so, yeah, it's just one example of the materials we use to make sure that your ROI keeps coming back. And because we designed them to be modular, you know, the wall you buy today will be compatible with the wall you buy 5 years from now when you need to
Right.
grow your
Yep.
operation. So if you guys have liked what you've seen here today, you can reach out to me many different ways. You can always reach out to me directly with my cell phone, which is 408-247-9255 or 408-AIRWALL. You can reach out to me by email, keith@zeppelinguys.com. That zeppelinguys.com is also our website. It's www.zeppelin, like the band, ZEPPELIN, and then guys, GUIS.com. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. Check us out. We've got tons of videos on YouTube. This is my favorite topic by far, so if you just want to reach out and chat and talk about your problems in restoration and how we might be able to help you with it, love to have those conversations. So thanks for watching. I look forward to having more conversations with y'all in the future.
AIRWALL rising, no plastic tomb. A fortress born in inflatable gloom. Let facility managers heed the call. For Zeppelin guys, build cleaner wall. Ash and dust, the silence screams. A tape-bound tomb of shattered dreams. Fantastic ghosts in worksite air. Till Zeppelin guys rose from despair. Steel and flame, the barriers fall. Inflate the beast, they call it AIRWALL. No more waste, no brittle seams. Containment forged beyond machines. AIRWALL rising, let the walls breathe fire. From sound to stench, it slays the mire. Exhaust burns clean through grime and fog. The nexus wakes, restoration's gone. Deploy, no tape to bind. A future clean by engineers' design. Reusable wrap, containment's crown. Born to lift, never let you down. In halls of decay where bacteria breed, the AIRWALL marches, no need to plead. A storm of control in an air-filled shell, where silence rules and odors fail. AIRWALL rising, let the walls breathe fire. From sound to stench, it slays the mire. Exhaust burns clean through grime and fog. The nexus wakes, restoration's gone. Restoration's gone. AIRWALL rising, no plastic tomb. A fortress born in inflatable gloom. Let facility managers heed the call. For Zeppelin